Hey everybody, I am Malcolm Venable, Guinness World Record holder for doing the Running Man the longest and senior editor at TV Guide, where I cover Sherman Showcase and absolutely nothing else. I'm really excited to be here today to talk about this fantastic special, Sherman Showcase Black History Month Spectacular, with creators Diallo, Riddle, Bashir, Salahuddin, executive producer Mike, and new artist John Legend. Hey everybody.
Hello.
Hello, guys. It's such an honor to be here with you all. I love the show. It's amazing. So I'll jump right in. My first question for you all is, how are you holding up? And, as Black creatives, how are you staying in a space where you're able to be creative and dealing with conflicting feelings about being silly and fun right now?
That's a great question. It's interesting because Diallo and Bashir are working on another project that we're doing that's coming out soon. And then, of course, we have the Sherman Showcase Black History Month special coming out soon. And we still have our sense of humor. We still think there's a lot in the world to talk about and make fun of. And there's a lot of joy that we can share with other people. And I think it's important for us to continue to share that joy and that laughter with intelligence and with an eye to what's going on in the world. But people still need to laugh and enjoy themselves. And I think it's important that we show the fullness of what it is to be Black and human. And I think, through our art, we're able to do that.
I think about it every day. Malcolm. I think that it's a really weird place right now where you do wonder, like, is it okay to be silly? Is it okay to laugh? Is it okay to, I think people need those moments of levity, those moments to laugh, to dance, to do the things that we love so that you can actually recharge that battery, because if it's only the outrageous, I used to say the outrageous video of the week. Now it seems like there's like literally a video every hour that you could watch to completion, because there have been other incidents from like last year and 2 years ago that people are now posting like, well, where are these officers, and shouldn't we be holding them accountable? So you do have to be sensitive to that. But then again, I just always come back to the fact that what's gotten our people through the past and the present has always been, our culture. That's the music, that's the comedy and the Black boy joy, to use the nomenclature of the current day. I think that we have to keep that going.
Mm-hmm. The movement's bigger than it's ever been. It's the biggest movement we've ever seen, but the struggle's been going on for a long time. And I think as Black men and Black creators, we've learned how to create during the struggle forever. So it's just about how do you move through this bigger movement and stay true to your voice.
Yeah.
Can you talk about when you concepted and created this special? Bashir, you opened with saying, "What month is it?" And in one of the sketches, Diallo was wearing a mask. I'm like, this is so right on time. How could you possibly known that this would be prescient right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think that first of all, thank you for having us. We're really happy to be talking to ATX. ATX had our backs for season 1, and it's so exciting to be back talking to folks. For this, I think just for Diallo and I mean, we've been dreaming of being able to create content and create stuff that really taps into the multiplicity of sources that inform our humor and our humanity for years. Since we both left college and we're out in LA just trying to do sketch comedy. And so just the idea that we would have any kind of platform is a dream come true. But specifically, with the Black History special, we take it very seriously. We have a bunch of writer rooms. We have our families, we have our friends, our producing partners who have so much intelligence and are so informed about this stuff. And I think that just causes us to be extra, careful with what we're doing, but also to make sure that we're doing the thing that is in the spirit of the original mission of the show, which is what John touched on, which is that we've been blessed to be guys who have been able to make people laugh. Diallo and I both come from very big families. When you come from a big family, you need to have a loud voice or you might not get hurt. You might not even get fed.
If mom ain't laughing, you may not get a plate.
Yeah, half the time my mother looked at me growing up, she said the wrong name. It took her 3 names to get to me, and I'd be like, nope, nope, that's me. And so, you know, and I think it's also what Diallo said before is that, you know, he's from Southwest Atlanta, I come from the South Side of Chicago. I think those are areas that have challenges, and we still had a robust sense of humor in those areas, and the people we grew up with had a robust sense of humor. So for us, this moment feels like something we were kind of tailor-made for, and then to do something that goes toward Black history and Juneteenth. I mean, I'll embarrassingly admit that growing up in Chicago, I didn't even know about Juneteenth. I wasn't until I got to college that I became informed that there was actually I believe it was local to Texas, a local holiday, you know, that celebrated emancipation. And then one thinks like, well, why isn't this more national? I mean, why is it February versus June? So I think for us, we felt like, you know, we take this Black History Month very special. And I think people are going to be surprised when they watch it with not just how funny it is, but how aware it is.
I think I only knew about Juneteenth because I was a history major. We found out a long time ago that our family is related to Carter G. Woodson, who created Black History Month, and like Eliza Riddle is his grandmother or something like that. We'll figure it out. But so there was that connection. But to your other point, I just want to point out there are sketches in the Spectacular in the Black History Month that we could have never known how much we nailed what was coming. There's a sketch called Too Much Dap, where like this one guy is like just going around the party just giving strangers dap, and they're like, "No, man, you're giving too much dap," you know. And he tries to give exit dap, you know, like, "All right, I'm gonna break out there." Like it's like, no, go away. And in this pandemic, like dap has gone away. Like so, that's almost like I'm happy that we caught that before that was no longer a thing, because you know. And
I miss dap. I miss dap.
I missed that, you know, like it was a chance to give your man some, you know, hey, what's up, man? You know, like it's over. It's a wrap.
John, I know you've worked with these gentlemen for a while, and you obviously produced your company, Get Lifted. My first question is, are you in fact lifted at this very moment? And then
no, unfortunately, it's too early.
No, but seriously, why did you want to get involved with this project? And can you talk about, obviously you're in some of the sketches, how much input do you have in the sketches and the music?
Well, I think a huge part of being a producer is just working with amazing people and choosing to work with amazing people. And Diallo and Bashir are so smart, so talented, so funny. They have such a great pedigree as writers. And they came to us with this idea, and it just seemed like the perfect show to do together because there's so much music, there's so much fun, there's so much history, there's so much awareness of Black culture and all the traditions that we have and all the inside jokes that we have. There's just so much of that it just felt like the perfect project for us to do. And we've had so much fun making this show together. Diallo and Bashir were friends of ours before we ever worked together, but even if we weren't friends, we wouldn't have turned this down. This is just a great opportunity for us to collaborate on something that is both really intelligent and really funny and really aware. And I think it's a perfect project for Get Lifted.
And Key and Peele were unavailable, so we went with these guys instead.
There's a question from the audience about the songwriting process. Diallo and Bashir, maybe people know, they should know that you guys are a part of a group at Harvard that specializes in making music. But can you talk to the audience about making songs for the show and some of the ones that they might see or genres they might see this time?
Yeah, I mean, I think Diallo is in some ways, you know, he's a DJ. You know, he's got music contacts. I'm a hanger on. I will say music is really the basis of our.
I had to move this record to start the Zoom, and I was like, "What if we just spend an hour talking about groove theory? Tell me."
Shout out Mel. Shout out Bryce.
The first major label artist I ever opened for was Mel LaRue, by the way.
Wow.
Oh, that's
where was that?
that's Mel LaRue, everybody.
In Philadelphia.
Nice. Okay. No, I'm just going to say really quickly that I think that you know, we love to have fun and we love to be silly, but I think Diallo and I, you know, obviously everybody on this call, but specifically us as writers, we really, you know, we put in our 10,000 hours. And I say that to say, when it came time to make the show, we wanted to make sure that not only was the comedy up to snuff, but that the music was intelligent and considered, and also that that it was a bop, that it was good. We wanted to make sure that, one of the things we always loved with like the Lonely Island guys is that the songs would be funny, but the actual music itself was always really enjoyable, and you could actually play at the parties. And one thing that Diallo would do is when we were testing out music for our show, and we had all these great collaborators, he would actually spin our music at parties he was DJing and look at the dance floor and see if like people are really jumping to it. And so, it would be great to hear from him and say, hey man, I played Time Loop last night and the audience went crazy. They were dancing. And it just makes us feel like not only are we delivering on our promise to give you really great comedy, but also incredible music that, I still listen to the Sherman Showcase album to this day.
It's really good music. And, like, it's really good to listen to. And I didn't make any of it, so I'm not complimenting myself. I'm just, as a fan of music and as someone who gets the pleasure of enjoying their work, they really collaborated to make some great music. It's very listenable, very fun, very catchy. And it's a testament to the quality of their minds as music writers, but also the collaborators they worked with as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, real quick, fans of the show Insecure know that they built like a couple episodes around the LA party Kiss and Grind. And I DJ'd the Kiss and Grind a couple of times. And yeah, I definitely would like, during my reggae set, I would put on, like the song from Sherman Showcase that could fit into a reggae set. You know what I'm saying? And like, the people would keep dancing. I was like, okay, they're dancing to a song they've clearly never heard before because this song isn't even out. But that was to me always the litmus test. Real quick, Fonte Coleman, from Little Brother. Yes. He was somebody who reached out to us when we were just Little Brother fans, but he reached out to us when we had our YouTube show called The Message. And we were like, oh, that's cool. Like Fonte likes our work. And so we knew we wanted to work with him. Yeah. And then, like everybody from the Knox, which is a amazing sort of like electronic group, to Neo, we always reached out to people and say, hey, we're taking the music very seriously. Would you like to work with us on this? And they came back to us with incredible songs.
In that vein, or on that topic, season 1 had this spectacular viral hit, an amazing song, Drop It Low for Jesus.
Drop it low for Jesus.
Can I say something about that? Malcolm, I just want to say, I meant to say that. Every song came together differently. Yeah. There were a couple of songs where like Bashir and I were like, we got to do a song that sounds, like it came out in this year or that year. Drop It Low for Jesus is actually a standout song because Bashir's sister, Azzurri, came to us and was like, I think this would be a funny song. And she already had the title. She already had most of the lyrics. And she already had like some version of like what the music would sound like. We gave all that to Fonte. Fonte was like, oh, I'm a murder this. He threw in some funny ad-libs like the, won't he do it?
Won't he do it?
And all of a sudden we had this perfect mixture of a song that like the second she pitched it, I was like, that is absolutely going to happen. Like I really knew it was a hit, but we had no idea it was going to be the viral hit that it turned into.
That song actually came from a really beautiful place. My sisters would actually, my grandmother in the later years of her life, very, 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 very religious woman, like all day on TV was nothing but like the Bible channel. And they would sing that for her and she would just be dying laughing. And so, for us, it actually came from a place of trying to raise her spirits and thinking, what's the silliest thing that would make this super religious woman laugh? And she, she really appreciated the silliness of it. So and then they shared it with Diallo and he immediately got it. And I was just like, I wasn't even aware that he loved it until after I saw it in production. I was like, oh, good, that's going to happen. And then obviously they evolved it and with what Fonte did. And also there's this idea a little bit of what Kirk Franklin was doing and how Kirk Franklin was saying, for those of you who think gospel is going too far, because there are people, we even saw that in the movie Ray, there are people who like anything that sounds remotely gospel can't have any secular elements. And so the fact that this has an incredibly secular element, for us is part of a great tradition.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't want to spoil it for anybody. There's two. Your sister Azzurri does 2 amazing songs this.
We can tell them the title though.
Okay, you do it. You tell us about the song that she does.
Tell them the title.
I think one is. Oh, go ahead, Diallo.
No, I was gonna say one is Add Some Kente videos out there.
Handsome Kente is amazing, yo.
Yeah.
Let me give Bashir some props. We were sitting in the writer's room and we knew that Azzurri had another incredible melody in her head, but we couldn't figure out what the song was about. Because there was some thought about maybe it's a song about Black History Month. And then once again, I feel like you know when like something's gonna be a hit. Bashir just out of nowhere is just like, what about song about Kente Cloth, add some Kente. And it was just like, oh yeah, like it's that thing that every Black person knows about, like it's around you, but like you never think like, oh, let me do a song about it. It's one of the moments I'm most proud of in this spectacular, the fact that we did a song about Kente Cloth. And that we got really silly with it, like, the Marines have Kente Cloth and Rambo has Kente Cloth, like, yeah. Oh, and I'm sorry, and then there's a follow-up to Drop It Low for Jesus, which is, you know what, I don't want to even put that title out there. That one, you got to watch the spectacular for it.
Yeah.
The episode, and you will meet the actual Pastor James, who was mentioned in that Drop It Low sketch. We'll meet Pastor James. I don't even want to say who that's going to be, but we got somebody great to play Pastor James.
Let's see. Speaking of meeting people, Diallo, we get a little bit of backstory about Dutchess Eyepatch, and there's a little bit more sort of untangling of Sherman's mythology. Can you talk about like how you guys craft a backstory of these really unique characters?
We actually had the idea for Dutchess Eyepatch from season 1 when we went back and were watching. Writing season 1, we did have this idea that there was an explanation for everything. Bashir and I are big fans of lore. We love comic books and retconning things that, need to be explained. And at some point we realized, oh, it's weird that Sherman never ages. And it's weird that Dutch has an eye patch in these years, but not in those other years. So we want to have an explanation for everything, because we create our own shows as if we were the fanboys, so to speak, who were like watching it and coming up with theories for stuff online. So without saying what the explanation for Dutch's eye patch is or some of the other, fun things coming up, we wanted to just, make it clear that, yeah, we noticed that and here's the reason why.
I want to just talk about that for 2 seconds, because in the larger context, Diallo and I, in some ways, our friendship began when we realized both of us not only love music, but we love comics, but we had the same comedic touch points. We both love Pee-wee's Big Adventure. We both love The Simpsons, the early years. Now, fast forward to us 10 years ago in LA, trying to pitch ideas that didn't conform to what the executives who were buying TV shows thought a Black show should be. It was very difficult. It was like, they would just stare at us like, basically. And by the way, let me just say this, I love the movie Friday. I've watched it about 600,000 times. But like, unless you were bringing them something which was like, oh, it's a sitcom version of basically Friday, which they probably couldn't even wrap their heads around that. They just knew that the budget, that the movie made money, right? So there was that disconnect. So there was this constant uphill battle for us of like trying to get people to understand that there is no such thing as one kind of Blackness. Black is so diverse, it's so deep. I love one of my favorite things about ATX Festival when we went, and I'm going to wrap this up really quickly, was when you get to talk to the fans and you say, they say, we love Sherman Showcase. And every single fan, I would say, what are your other favorite shows? And I would get totally different answers. It wasn't like the Black women only like shows with Black women and the Black guys only like Black shows and the white people only. Like, no, it was as richly lived and diverse as us. So I say all that to say that I'm so grateful that John was somebody who was able to talk to AMC Network and help push us over that 1 yard line, because it's not always easy to get them to accept something that they haven't seen before. And our support of the network has been incredible, and we love those guys. But at the same time, I also want to just make sure and shout out our creative business partners for bringing their talent and their experience and their like authenticity, just to like co-sign what we're doing to help more and more people realize this is something we're taking a chance on. Because again, I would say it's still difficult sometimes to get something that doesn't look like everything else over the finish line. And yet I often feel like that's the stuff that makes the biggest impact.
That's a great point. And to John and Mike as producers, you've seen the success of this project and others like it that you've pushed forward. Are you seeing that conversations are different now when you go into negotiations and talks with executives? Are you seeing the change that you have pushed forward happen?
Yeah,
Take this one?
I think we definitely are. You know, we've always been unapologetically Black about the content that we develop and want to share with the world. And, you know, the look at day one versus where we are today, there's such a openness and willingness to kind of explore Black culture to its in its wholeness. To Bashir's point, they always wanted to kind of focus on the lowest hanging fruit because it was just a metric for them. And now with the success of shows like Underground and Sherman Showcase and Southside and a plethora of other shows, the appetites increased significantly. So for us, it's kind of our golden years right now, like as far as like smart Black content and opportunities that lay ahead.
I had a domestic moment. Sorry,
Yeah.
I was distracted.
I was so curious.
I was like, it's a live interview. It's a live interview.
I think we're unfortunately winding down. I guess one of the last things I will ask is all of us as Black men recently, I think, probably have been fielding phone calls from our white friends and allies about
stop texting me.
We don't have all the answers.
And they watch Sherman Showcase Black History Month Spectacular and learn everything they need to know about history.
That's true.
Yes.
That part's true.
Your first step to atonement is watching Sherman Showcase.
All right, guys, I think we're winding down. Is there anything else you want to add about this fantastic special?
I mean, I'll start off and just say again, you know, we take the audience very seriously. You know, even before we were in a period of tremendous protest and upheaval, we took it very seriously that people would choose from all the hundreds and hundreds of TV shows to look at us and to see what we were doing and to laugh with us. And now more than ever, you know, it is really healing when people have a place they can go to and sort of let go of the troubles of the world and just laugh with family and friends. And so we take that very seriously, and we're going to deliver to you guys an incredible entertainment experience that is worthy of your time as we have.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say I think the Black History Month Spectacular is airing on Juneteenth. I think it's the best single episode of Sherman Showcase we've ever done, hands down. We learned all our lessons from season one. Look, we had great people we worked with, Mike and John, Radical Media, all the people that came together to make the show happen. But we learned a lot. And with this special, like, we tackle everything from the movie The Last Dragon, to things I don't even want to tell you about because I think they're so surprising and fun. I think Ethiopians will love the special because it's got an Ethiopian angle that I won't go into, but I think it's really, it was actually hard to find a lot of Ethiopian actors. Who knew that was like something that was going to be difficult to find, but we found some great ones and they're in it. And it makes me very happy. I just think that, I think the special is going to be, the spectacular is going to be a really great episode. It's a great episode if you've never even seen Sherman Showcase. You don't have to have seen the previous season. It's not a continuation of a story. It's just Bashir, our wonderful leader as Sherman, putting in a masterclass performance in so many roles. And I think people are gonna really like it a lot. Oh, and I would be remiss to say we have everybody from Questlove to Lil Rel to Michael Ealy. We have an outstanding cast of people, and yeah.
That's fantastic. I think we should end on that note. I don't know if I can top that. Thank you all, gentlemen.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, guys.
So much.
Love the special. Love you all. Be safe. Everybody, reminder, season 1's on Hulu, and Sherman Showcase Black History Month Spectacular premieres Friday, June 19th, Juneteenth at 10 on AMC, and then at 11 on IFC.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, Malcolm.
Thank you.